Hey everybody, it's Annette. I wanted to go over some immune boosting herbs today. I've got an event next week. I'm going to be participating for the first time. It's a volunteer thing that we were uh, encouraged to do through our work. And it's the Tim Tebow Night to Shine event, which is like a prom type event for people with special needs. So I will be going to that. It's going to be a lot of people there. It's 100 and something volunteers, just volunteers. And I think 80 people who are coming. So I got my assignment. We went to a training earlier this week, and I'm going to be a buddy to somebody. I was kind of thinking like I'd get stuck in the back kitchen or something, but they buddied me up. I don't know who I will be partnered with, but I hope that whoever it is has a good time. So in preparation for being around a big crowd, because the way I work, this hybrid type of work that I do, I'm not around a lot of people. So anytime I'm going from mini seclusion to being around a big crowd, I try to boost up the immune system. I drink the teas every day, but before something like this, I'm going to give it an extra kick. And I wanted to share some of that with you. Another motivation too was yesterday I went out to eat. We finally got to where we could get back out again, and I reported on site yesterday. We went to eat at my favorite restaurant with the amazing baked salmon. I was sitting there doing my little thing, eating my meal in peace and reading my Kindle, and I forgot the kids are still out of school, which there's always kids at the restaurant anyway, so I don't really think a lot about it, but bless, this child probably did not need to be outside or, normally I would have taken my kids to get a Happy Meal. Anyway, I'm sitting there reading my Kindle and eating, and I hear somebody coughing up a lung, and I'm like, and just as they pass the table, and I'm like trying to, in my mind, figure out where those particles are going. Are they landing on my food or in my drink? And this is, a glimpse of the inside of Annette's brain, because I really am not a fan of germs. So even though I raised two kids, I feel like I've done my punishment as far as like getting every single thing they get at school. Not raising the kids, that was a joy and a blessing, but literally every time they would get sick, you know how kids are. They're like really contagious. I don't know what it is about kids. They pack a punch if they give you something. So anyway, let's get back on topic, Annette. I'm going to talk about some herbal remedies for immunity boosting and to help through some of this, some that I'm using this week and that I will recommend to you. You've heard me talk about this one before, Echinacea. It's definitely the first thing that I reach for whenever I'm wanting to boost the immunity. You can either make this by the bag or do it in the teapot. If you're only using the Echinacea, one whole teaspoon of this, and you can blend it with other things, but I will be using this by itself and making some stronger tea blends. In addition to that, and this is what I've brewed today, the Scarborough Fair tea, obviously parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. The parsley, the sage, and the thyme, great immunity boosters. Rosemary is good for hair, but I made this blend because I love the song and I wanted a tea blend that represented that, and it's full of just all these wonderful nutrients. It's got so much texture, and it tastes really good together. That's a great blend. So I will be doing that. Rose hips. You can add a couple, 2, 3, or small handful of rose hips. It's real pretty. They're not too heavy, but when you go buy, if you're going somewhere to buy the gram or ounce or however they sell it at the herbal store place, I would probably start off with 1 ounce so you can kind of gauge and see what it costs. I've had this one for a hot minute, and since I don't take a whole lot out of it, I'll just take like a little pinch of it and put it in with the tea and just give myself an extra immunity boost with that. And that's rose hips. Another one, and this should be probably in everybody's tea cabinet. This is green tea. This just happens to be the brand that I got, Hamed Tea London. I got it at one of the international food stores. And green tea, overall, any kind of green tea, you got your oolong, your black oolong, green tea, all those are packed with immunity benefits. The one thing I want to tell you though, when you're drinking green tea, if I'm going to do my green tea, I will do that earlier in the day because it does contain caffeine at different levels, depending on what type of green tea is in there. You'll just have to look at it and look it up. If it doesn't have it on a box, Buddha teas will have the dots that tell little caffeine to a lot of caffeine. Most herbal teas don't have caffeine in them. Green tea does. So if you are going to drink it, aim for morning time, early afternoon. I wouldn't do it right before bed. Stick to your chamomile and some of your milder teas if you're going to drink tea before you go to bed. What I'm also going to do is, as I drink my tea and pour myself a cup or a glass with ice, hot or cold, room temperature, whatever, I have got some elderberry liquid tincture. I do not take this straight to the mouth. Some people do, but because I don't know if somebody else is going to be using it, or if I'm going to be using it, taking it orally like that, just by itself, I'll put it in a spoon. But I always just fill a dropper full of this up and add it to my tea. These are very, very strong, and it's not going to alter the taste of your tea in a negative way, but it will give you a good boost. This is elderberry tincture. Another thing that I got at the last Herb Fest I went to, and I think I've talked about this one before, Sister of Mother Earth, Queen of Thieves. It's got the apple cider vinegar, the horseradish, the onion, ginger, lemon, turmeric, sage, rosemary, thyme, some of the same things I mentioned in the other ones, basil, fennel, marjoram. Take 1 teaspoon of this, usually with food, and not every day. My stomach can't tolerate it every day. It kind of, it's a little hot. So I use it sparingly, but preparing for this, I'll probably maybe do it every other day of the Queen of Thieves apple cider. Cider vinegar is what they call these. And you're going to see these at a lot of your herbal fairs, crafting herbal fairs and stuff like that. I'm hoping to stock up on more stuff at the Asheville Herb Fest. If you are in the North Carolina area, the Asheville Herb Fest will be, I think, April 25th and 26th this year in the vicinity. It'll be in Asheville. It's called Asheville Herb Fest or Western North Carolina Herb Fest. You can pull it up by either one of those and probably find it. I'll try to get more information and put it in the description because I'm like really sucking on that right now. I've only been one time, so give me grace. But doing that, trying to eat clean, avoid the greasy fried foods. We're in the South, everything's fried. Been trying to avoid that since the first of the year. I told you earlier I had, I was at 165 I've been doing the Healthy app with it's the same model as Weight Watchers. So between the last time I reported till now, which has been approximately a month, I've lost 10 pounds. So I'm trying to eat what I normally eat, the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, but then I'm trying to intentionally avoid some of these other foods that are just nasty or processed or greasy or fried and potato chips and stuff like that. That's a piece of cake for me as a rule. Sweets are my weakness. So it has taken a great amount of strength, but I'm getting my sweet fix from oranges. Now and then I'll treat myself to a shortbread cookie or one of those French tea biscuits or something like that. I think they're 4 points each. So I hope this helps some. I hope you are staying well. And these are some of the things I recommend and that I use for immunity. Again, always ask your doctor if it will work for you, a particular herb or tincture or a cider vinegar, because different herbs do not work with different health conditions. These are no problem for me, but we are all fearfully and wonderfully made, and that means we're all different. And that's a good thing. So do what's best for you. Talk to your doctor. Stay healthy out there. And I will talk to you next time.